Welcome back to Anything You Want, the home of stories that make you feel every heartbeat behind the headlines. Before we dive into today's emotional journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to help us keep telling these stories with the care they deserve, don't forget to tap the join button and become part of our growing family. Because today, we're talking about a love that didn't just capture screens, it captured souls. There are love stories that burn bright and fade fast, and then there are those that leave behind a quiet ache, the kind that lingers in songs, photographs, and memories you can't delete. What unfolded between Sinem Ünsal and Ozan Akbaba belongs to the latter. Their chemistry had already been written into scripts, but it was their real connection, the one that unfolded between takes, that the audience could never stop watching. And now, months after silence, Sinem's latest words have cracked open a truth that left everyone still enough to hear their own hearts echo back. In her recent interview, Sinem's voice carried a calmness that could only come after storms. Her confession wasn't rehearsed, it was raw, almost trembling with sincerity. Ozan made me believe in true love, she said, but he also taught me what soul weariness means. It wasn't bitterness, it was reflection. A soft reckoning that told a story deeper than any tabloid ever could. Fans who followed their relationship from the start remember how it began, with laughter that didn't seem staged, with glances that didn't need scripts. They were both living examples of connection found in chaos. But as the months went on, something shifted. What had once felt effortless became heavy under the gaze of thousands. Every outing was analyzed, every gesture turned into a headline. And so, what began as joy became, slowly, exhaustion wrapped in love's clothing. A close friend of the couple described it best. Sinem was the calm tide, Ozan the wild current. At first, they balanced each other, but tides and storms rarely stay still. It's a sentence that reads like poetry, and maybe that's why it hurts so much, because it feels true. If you're just joining us here on Anything You Want, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. We tell stories not just about fame, but about the humanity hiding behind it, the moments when the spotlight dims and what's left is just two people trying to hold on to something real. In that same interview, Sinem shared something few stars ever admit out loud. Sometimes love doesn't end because it fades, but because it hurts too much to hold on to. Her words didn't cry out for sympathy, they spoke to anyone who's ever loved deeply enough to feel tired from trying. The silence that followed in the room was telling. Even the reporters, often eager to chase a headline, simply sat still. On social media, waves of empathy began to rise. "She spoke for all of us who loved too hard," wrote one follower. Another echoed, "Even the purest love can get tired." It wasn't gossip anymore. It was collective mourning for something beautiful that slipped through time's fingers. Sinem, always thoughtful, revealed how fame itself became the quiet intruder in their story. "When love has to share space with everyone's eyes," she said softly, "it becomes fragile. I wanted something simple, human, untouched by the noise." Her longing for normalcy was palpable, a reminder that behind the glamour, there's a woman who just wanted to be loved quietly. Insiders confirmed their separation wasn't dramatic. No betrayals, no bitter words, just two people realizing they were running out of the same breath. "They didn't hurt each other," said one mutual friend, "they just ran out of steam." It's perhaps the gentlest way to describe heartbreak. But what makes this story linger is how they both refuse to turn it into a spectacle. Respect remains. Affection still flickers in the background like candlelight no wind can quite extinguish. At this point, let's take a breath together. If you've ever felt that ache, the kind that comes when love slips away but never really leaves, you'll understand why this story hits so deeply. And while you're here, don't forget to like this video, drop a comment, and tell us what you think. Do you believe love like this ever truly ends, or does it just change its form? And who should we feature next on Anything You Want? Your comments truly shape what comes next. In her final remarks during that interview, Sinem didn't close the door entirely. Her voice softened to a whisper of hope. True love isn't forgotten. Maybe it's just not the right time. And with that, 1,000 hearts cracked open again. Could there be a future chapter waiting for them? The actress smiled faintly, her eyes glimmering between loss and possibility, a look that said maybe. It was all the audience needed. That night, Turkish media captured Ozan sitting alone in a quiet Sihanger cafe, the glow of his phone lighting his face. Witnesses claim he was watching an old video of them together. He seemed nostalgic, but not broken, said one onlooker. Like he was grateful it happened. For a man who often lets his eyes do the speaking, that single image said more than any interview could. Sinem, on the other hand, has buried herself in her craft. Her upcoming project, rumored to be inspired by personal experiences, tells the story of a woman learning to breathe again after love leaves her. Sometimes art is the only way to heal, she admitted briefly to reporters outside the studio. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Life imitating art, or perhaps, art saving life. Meanwhile, Ozan's Instagram glimmered once more with a cryptic post, a black and white still of an empty beach and the caption, "Some promises aren't broken, they're simply kept differently." Within minutes, his followers flooded the comments. She's still his muse. Maybe they're just waiting for time to be kind again. The story refused to die, because maybe it wasn't supposed to. A close friend revealed that Sinem still keeps Ozan's letters tucked away in a drawer. She never threw them out. Sometimes she rereads them, the source said quietly. She says those words remind her of the person she was when love still felt like sunlight. It's such a small, intimate detail, and yet it carries the entire weight of what once was. In the following weeks, both have continued their separate paths, their silence saying more than words ever could. Ozan told his co-stars, "When something was real, you don't need to defend it. It lives in you." And Sinem, at a recent charity gala, when asked if they still talk, smiled gently and said, "Affection doesn't disappear, it just changes form." It was all the confirmation fans needed to start hoping again. Before we close, if you're still with us, thank you for being part of the Anything You Want community. Don't forget to subscribe, tap the join button, and share this video if you felt even a flicker of emotion. We tell stories like these not for gossip, but to remind each other that love, real love, always leaves something behind, even when it's gone. As one fan beautifully summarized online, not all loves last, but some stay forever in the soul. And maybe that's what Sinem and Ozan will always be, two souls bound by something too honest to fade completely. The final note in this unfolding symphony came through an Instagram story, Ozan sharing an instrumental melody, captioned simply, "For those who understand." And perhaps we all do. Because sometimes, understanding is just another word for remembering. Stay tuned for more heartfelt stories right here on Anything You Want. Where love, fame, and humanity meet, and where every heartbeat finds its echo.